about mental health in general. Well, royal or not, the conversation is sparking a discussion about how a toxic and dysfunctional family dynamic can impact mental health. Sakshi Bahree is a couple and family psychotherapist in Toronto, and she joins us now to help us break down this issue. Hi, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Hi, Janella. How are you? Thank you so much.
So, I want to get your reaction to hearing, Meghan speaking openly about having these suicidal thoughts. Particularly, she was pregnant at the time, and also that she didn't get help when she asked for it.
I think for me, my first reaction was it was very heartbreaking to witness words like oppression, racism, entrapment, and almost power imbalance, working, being there in a royal family. My thought was up till this point of time, and I think a lot of people resonate with that, hey, power and fame is, brings you a lot of happiness. And people look up to royal families. So this was a revelation in itself. And my heart goes out to her. And kudos for her to say that out loud. And yeah, just opening this topic.
Yeah, so talk to us about how common is this, what Meghan went through. As you mentioned, she is a royal, she had lots of money, but often that doesn't determine whether or not someone may deal with something like this, particularly a woman dealing with something like this during a pregnancy. How common is it?
It's very common, and oftentimes it is accompanied by shame and guilt, right? Opening up and telling and reaching out for help is often minimized and dismissed when they're reaching out for help. So it is a very common phenomena. And of course, like someone like Meghan, who's going through a lot physiologically, psychologically, she's pregnant, and at the point of time in her life when she needs a lot of support from her family, friends, her husband, going through a process like this and going through this mental trauma is very traumatic. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, talk to me about also, the fact that people may look at the situation and say, well, she should have just left. She has lots of money and power. Does it actually make it harder to talk about these things when you are in a position of privilege, where people may look at your family life and think that it's a fairy tale, as they did with Meghan?
Exactly. It is very hard. That's the common myth or perception people have. Hey, this person has fame, this person has money, why didn't they leave? Making a judgment on someone else's life is very easy, but taking steps towards it is very, very hard. I'm sure Meghan contemplated with the idea, hey, what's going to happen, consequences of her coming out and talking about what she's going through in public, the shame that brings to her, her family, royal family. It comes with a lot of reputation. So I think breaking those barriers and coming out in public was something I think gives a lot of strength and empowerment to a lot of other women who are going through the same experience and find very difficult to, break those barriers and come out and speak and gain voice. So I definitely think it was a very hard decision for her.
Meghan talked about the fact that she did speak up. She did recognize that this was something she was going through and that she needed help, but that she was then denied that help because she was told it's not a good look for the royals. First of all, is that a common response that people may deal with? And how much can that set a person back when they are able to take that step to admit they're struggling?
I think, yes, it's a very common response. It's almost like people say, hey, you're making that up. Deal with it. Pull up your socks. And, this is, one of the prizes that you pay for being married in a royal family, or for that matter, people who come from privileged families. Depression, low self-esteem, anxiety, all these are manifestations and symbolic of loneliness that she must have felt for a long period of time in her marriage, especially, when we go back to that idea, hey, I am suicidal. I think that is a thought that I just can't stop thinking about. I can't even fathom to imagine the pain that she must be enduring through all this time living in a family that is almost making it hard for her to be, fitting into and being accepted by them.
All right, then we'll have to leave it there. Sakshi Bahree is a psychotherapist in Toronto. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us here on Canada
Thank you
Tonight.
so much.
And before we go, a third trial has been